let's walk through how I would go about creating a paranormal cozy mystery cover. So I have 4 examples for you today, and I'm going to show you how I went through that process if you would like to DIY your own cover to maybe save some money. Or maybe you're just thinking about becoming a cover designer. I've seen a lot of other author tubers that one day just woke up and they're like, I design covers now. So I think anyone can do it. I'm 100% self-taught as a graphic designer, and I made a full-time business out of it for, I was going to say 5 years, but we're going on like 9 years now. So you can definitely do custom covers. You can do those pre-mades. You can have an auction, right? Like if you are thinking this is something you really enjoy and you'd like to learn, I think anybody can learn graphic design. So I have a handy dandy worksheet if you are in the author resource library, because I'm going to name a ton of different tools, probably like 10 or 15 that I use in different sites that I go to. I'll put that all in the list for you. If you have not checked it out, Author Resource Library is every single tutorial and course that I've ever created. You can find those all inside of there. And also the tool that I'm using today, Xtiles, where all of my notes are, that's also available to the Author Resource Library students as well. So I will leave a link to that if you are interested in picking that up. All right. All right, I'm going to walk you through all 5 steps. And remember, if you were in the Author Resource Library, you actually have access to this whole Xtiles file. It's in there and waiting for you. The only step, I guess, step 0, is to first pick an app, whether it is Xtiles or Evernote or something else that you like, or maybe even a paper, actual physical notebook that you can jot ideas and things down in. You want to put everything together. So that's step 0. I really like Xtiles. It's free, and it is also, I have another video on how to use it. I will leave a link to that below. But over here is the basics. So that's step 1, is you need all of the text, whether it is the title, the series name. You have to know whether, you know, if you are doing custom work for an author, if they have a ridiculously long name, you're going to have to put that in there. If they have a qualifier like New York Times, USA Today, you're going to have to know to put that in there as well. They have a tagline they want to add to the cover, a series logo, a series name, a book number. Is this book 4, book 5? All of that takes up space on the cover, and when you do your design, you're going to have to leave more, I don't want to say white space because sometimes it's dark, but more blank space so that you have text that is legible and easy to read, and not just one huge design and you're like, oh my gosh, where am I going to put the text? So 100% you should have all this up front. So all of these were just copy and paste. I got these from Claude AI, which I actually like. It has some different ideas than normal. Same thing with Google Gemini. If you're looking to try something other than just ChatGPT, these will give you much more more ideas. But anyways, the way to use this is if you just copy one of these, I mean, I already pasted in here, but if you just drag and drop inside of Xtiles and you just go inside of here and you paste it, it shows up, it's automatic, it's really fast. And if there's something I like taro and toast, I can highlight this and then head over here and just highlight that in pink so I can easily check it or see it when I go back to reference any of my notes. So that's step 1. And you know, this is great whether it's your own book or you were trying to make pre-mades, or if, yeah, usually I guess custom clients, they just tell you exactly what the title is, so I guess you don't have to do that. Okay, so that is step 1. Have all of the text. And you just want this, and this is the most logical order because you want this in the back of your mind as you're doing the design, that you know you're going to have to leave a lot of space for the actual text on the cover. Step 2 is trends. So you want to see what's out there and what's selling. So here's what I did for finding what's trending. I just went to Amazon and I searched for paranormal witch cozy mysteries. It was really just that easy. And I basically just copied the covers, that I liked, and 2 that were selling well. There are some authors in here, I'm not even sure who's a big author, but if the author is too big, it doesn't matter what their cover looked like, you know what I mean? Like, people were gonna buy that book no matter what. Like Gina LaManna, crazy popular. Even if it was the ugliest cover in the world, people don't care. They're just gonna buy it because of her name. So I wouldn't look at her covers too much. Is there anybody else inside of here that's like a huge name? Anyways, that's one. The other place to look for covers is Barnes and Noble, Paranormal Mysteries. I don't know why. Sometimes the previews take a while to show up here. Like if we head over to page 2 or page 3, I don't know if all of the titles, yeah, see, sometimes it just kind of grays them out. But anyways, this is a good way for you to look at trends. So what I like to do as well is go to K-Lytic. So Alex puts together all of the covers inside of here, like a trending best-selling covers. He'll do that for you. And then if you're doing a paranormal women's fiction, then these have different covers as well. That's a totally different style. But what I like to do is I kind of like getting some themes going. So here I really liked the woman with the cat. She has like magic hands, something magical going on with her hands, and a house in the background. And so I had 4 different examples. I really liked the layout, so I just kind of pasted these in here so I can quickly see them at a glance. Another theme was scary, magical, large Victorian houses. I don't know if I was too excited about these. They looked okay. I threw them in there because clearly there were enough covers in there that it seemed to be a trending sort of design. And then cats. Cats are always like good for any cozy mysteries. But I noticed they had cats in front of like a house or a wall or something inside of it. Now this last one over here on the right is more paranormal women's fiction. I think I just thought that cat was really cute, so that's why I copied that one. It probably doesn't really fit the aesthetic of everything else. And then the 4th trend that I saw were ornamental frames with large words in the center. So that you just kind of had a lot of elements on the side joined kind of haphazardly together, and then the text was like pretty and slanted or kind of curved or whatever, and that took up the main majority of that. So that is step 2. It's just for you to know what's going on in the market and like see which covers you like. And the reason I have 4 is because I really wasn't decided on what cover I wanted, so I just kind of wanted to try all of them out and see what hit. Step 3 is to put together a mood board and your fonts, because you don't want to waste time later thinking about this. And I pulled together a few because once you get everything together on the cover with the look and feel of it, as well as putting all those fonts together, you just don't know what you're going to like or not like. So I listed a few. Remember, the author name fonts should always be very easy to read, like nothing fancy, no like swirls and glyphs. It's just like plain text. The title font then is usually a little fancier and prettier and kind of like an art form all unto itself. And also you want to make sure you're paying for these. I never, ever use free fonts, mostly because, one, I think people that make fonts, it's a lot of work and I want to make sure that they get paid. And also, 2, you're going to miss out on the glyphs. So glyphs are these extra variations of the letters. So like, see this letter A and beautiful? So the A and beautiful is probably available as a plain A, but this swirly thing that it has going on in there is available only as like a variation glyph option if you had paid for it. Now, to find fonts, the best place to go is Creative Market has some premium fonts inside of there. Creative Fabrica has, I don't want to say cheaper fonts, but for some reason they're just discounted, and you can pay a membership to get all access to all the fonts. If you would like to pay a lot of money, if you have a client maybe, or you yourself want a font that like usually nobody else has, if you go to these boutique sites like House Fonts, you're going to see that these fonts are incredibly expensive. And so the likelihood of somebody else having this font is very low. So for example, I have NeutraFace for pretty much all of my graphic design stuff, and like nobody else uses it, and that's because it is $299 for this font. So it is cost prohibitive for most people to use that. Now, if you were thinking, like if you see a font and you're just not sure what it is, you could go to What the Font and it will guess. So like, let's say we take this Janet Ivanovich Wicked business cover, and we really just like Wicked, and we just want to see what that font is. You can go over here to What the Font, and you can take that cover, upload it right here, just drag and drop it, and then you can just pick out the fonts on that page. So like maybe I like the Wicked font, so I'm going to say identify this font, and the My Fonts has a massively huge library, so they're going to go through and try to guess which font this is. Now this font, I'm guessing, someone actually edited this font, like drew it, So that's why it's not coming up with a lot of stuff. So what you can do, what I would strongly suggest, is learning how to do typography. So when you go into Illustrator, let me show you this really quick. Let's say we take the text box and let's use just really easy the word witch. And I'm going to put this in a fancy kind of font. And I'm going to make it bigger so you can actually see it. So let's make it 112. There we go. And so there's a couple different things you can do with just the font right here as it is. You could go over here and you could widen it out. So I could do 50 and then I'll kind of space it out. I mean, we don't have two lines, so there's no line spacing. But I could go over here and let's move this down here. And I could go ahead and I could create an outline of this. I can make these individual. So I could ungroup this. And so one variation is I could kind of put the W down low, take the T up a little high, the C down low, the H over here, right? So you can do different things with these letters. I would encourage you to learn how to use the pencil tool as well. So the pencil tool over here, you could take this W, and I'm going to do a really bad job of it, and swoop it around like that, and kind of make it different. Obviously, you should fix this and smooth it out later. Or you could put in special characters like over here for the eye. I could put in little cat ears. I did a terrible job with that. I could put in little cat ears as the method of drawing. Okay, let's try that again. Let's delete that. So let's try to draw a little cat over here. There we go. And then let's give this cat some ears. Oops, I'm doing a terrible job. Let's give this cat some ears. There we go. Okay. Clearly it's not the best, but you can start playing around with it, and like as you use the pencil tool, you're going to be able to kind of, I don't want to say create your own glyphs, but make the typography very unique and very fancy without having to buy one of those $300 fonts. So when you learn typography and Illustrator, it's just going to make it so much better. Even with these images, like this cat, like let's say if I wanted to, can I take the cat? Where's the cat? Let's take the cat, and let's say I just use the pen tool, and the pen tool, I can just go ahead and I think I can just make this bigger. Yep, I can make this tail longer and bigger. I'm doing a bad job of it. And wider. So I can change things as well on the images if I learn to use Illustrator. So that is, I would say, the first skill you should learn as when you're trying to do your own cover design. And as you learn more, you're going to get better at it, and then your covers are just going to look that much better. So where were we? So this is fonts. Oh, and then also try to put mood boards together. And mood boards, I think a lot of people get hung up on mood boards on trying to make the actual cover in the mood boards. You're just going for the look and feel and the colors. And so I would advise against going on Pinterest and searching for cozy mystery covers, because you're going to come up with really old stuff. Like this cover from Tanya Kappas, it looks really cute, but if you actually go to the link, you'll see she has updated that cover since then. So Pinterest is a search engine that has stuff from when Pinterest was first created, like forever ago. So Pinterest, if you're going to use it, I would use it for just, again, look for actual mood boards on here versus like actual covers. So that is what step are we on? That is step 3. Your mood board and your fonts, they're downloaded, they're purchased, they're ready to go. And also, if you can learn some different design skills for typography along the way with Illustrator, that would be very helpful. All right, now you're ready for step number 4, which is to gather your design assets. So this step, I would say, takes up 99.9% of my time, really any graphic designer's time in designing anything. And AI does make it a little bit easier and faster when you can't find something perfect. You can just ask AI to create it. So when I say assets, I just mean like, okay, so I looked at the covers. I know I like cats. I know I like maybe a yard. I know I want to put a woman inside of there. I don't know what I want her to wear. I don't know what kind of hair I want her to have. So I have all these different women. I have some shoes and jeans that maybe I can swap in and out. Maybe I like her hair. Maybe I like her outfit, right? So all of these things are super helpful. Now, what you want to do, so these two, I already pulled out the person from there. But what you can do is you can take like this person. I obviously don't need all of that orange. Actually, let's take this person and let's just get rid of the background. So it's super easy if you've never done this. You do have to have a paid version of Canva, but all you have to do is drag and drop that image of that woman into Canva, and you're going to go over here, you're going to open that image, and you're going to just say background remover, and it's magically going to take it out. Now, I use Photoshop, and I don't know why Canva does a better job of background removal than Photoshop. It's really weird, but they like have it down to a T. So once you have this down, you're going to say save, and you're going to say download. And then when you download that image, you're going to be able to head back over to Xtiles, and then you can upload your image. Let's just upload it next to her. That transparent image as a PNG over here. The reason I do this is because it just makes it so much faster later in case I decide I want to use her. I don't have to take the background out later and do everything else. It's already there. It's ready to go. I can see it without like being influenced by anything in the background. So always use paid images. Never try to use anything free that you've Googled, but you can use Adobe Stock. That's very popular. DAZ, people like DAZ because you can change the way the light hits somebody and the shadows, but I would argue you can probably change that and it's like a minor detail unless you're doing CSI forensics. Most people can tell. And then Fantasy Background Store has a bunch of cool stuff. DeviantArt, it's like hit or miss with this site for me. Kick-Ass Renders has a lot of cool like magical swirlies and portals, and you could just Google it as well and see what you can buy. There's a lot of cool things actually on Etsy that I've found for covers, but just make sure to read whatever it says on, you know, whether or not you can use that. If you cannot find an image, and this happens a lot, I like using Midjourney. Now, Midjourney Alpha, it means that you don't have to learn how to use Discord, which I think was like the biggest hang up for a lot of people. So when you go into here, well, I was doing some other stuff, but you can put in, like I put create a spooky mansion like Scooby-Doo. I kind of like these, right? Like these are just giving me ideas of things I might be able to use. An urban alley littered with magic. Maybe I'm going to put my person in front of like an alley or a street. Maybe I'm going to put them in front of a library like that other book. Here are some other women too, just standing in different poses that I might want to use. Another library. Maybe I just need a candle, but I want it to be purple, right? And it's really hard for me to find a purple candle. Am I going to waste like the rest of my life looking through Adobe stock images to find the perfect candle? And again, see how the women are holding the plates. You can just get rid of the plates. I just wanted someone with their hands held out. The cat didn't work out so well on Midjourney, or this woman. I really like this English garden. Here's a magic wand. Again, the cat didn't work out. And then we're back to the spooky mansions. Now, that's Midjourney. I would say just like I tried out using Claude and I used Gemini and ChatGPT, you should be trying out all different types of AI generators. Lexica is probably the only one where you can search for images that other people have made. These are just in the public domain if you use them. So let's look up witch over here. Oh, these are, I don't know why they're in black and white. But oh, there's one in color. So I probably don't like these as well either. But again, you're gonna find like what styles you like or want or the look and feel you want for your cover. Free Pick is another one that you do have to, I think you get like, I'm not sure, like 16 images left today. So we could do a paranormal witch, and we could just say create, and it will just make 4 images for you just like that. It also is, Free Pick also has actual images as well, that like just like a normal stock site. And Canva probably has literally the worst text to AI generator, second only to Microsoft. So I wouldn't even bother with the AI generator here. Anyways, so that's all of them. And I know everyone's always worried about legalities. You can read them, like here with Dolly. Yeah, you own the images you create with Dolly, and Dolly's with ChatGPT. And then same thing with Midjourney, right? If you're a subscriber, you can. So all of them tell you exactly how you can and can't use them. So don't worry or wonder or like be confused. If you don't know, just ask. They 100%, I promise, they all tell you whether you can use them or not. So that is, what step are we on? I think we're almost, I know it's a lot together. So the last step is putting it all together. So I like using Photoshop. So I just pulled these together. I have Charm Chambers, Magical Stays, Brooms and Breakfast, the Haunted Hostess Inn. So these were just different things that I tried out. Now, as far as sizes go, what you can do is you can go over here to KDP, and this is if you have a paperback or a hardback, you're going to need all of this information from your client or yourself. So the book has to be done in order for you to be able to create these. But let's say, I think 6x9 is like the most popular. Let's say you have 225 pages. And then you're going to say calculate dimensions, and it's going to give you the actual dimensions of the cover. So the easiest way for you to do this is you're going to download this, and then you're going to go ahead and open up Photoshop. So inside Photoshop, most likely a digital cover, you're just going to click 6x9 inches and 300 pixels per inch, and just leave it RGB because it's a digital cover. Oops, there we go. And say create. And so that's the cover size that you want. Oh, I should mention too, so I bought some brushes. So this is how I draw hair, is you need brushes in Photoshop to do that. Now, if you have an iPad, and I just have this iPad mini, will it turn on? Yeah, I have the iPad mini. And so inside of here, Adobe Fresco, Procreate, all of those, if it's easier for you to draw with an Apple Pencil, you can do that inside of here. Photoshop works on the iPad, as does Illustrator, like using that pencil tool. I actually find it way easier on the iPad than I do with a mouse and trying to click things around. So you might have that same option available to you, and I would definitely try to use it. So if you have Adobe Creative Cloud, so I pay for the whole Creative Cloud suite. I mean, obviously I do graphic design for my other business, but once you pay for that once, then you are able to use not only all of the Adobe Typekit fonts, but you can also use all of the Adobe apps on your iPad. You don't have to pay separately. You get all of them. And Adobe Fresco actually comes with, I think it's like 200 brushes for free. All the brushes are free, whereas I know Procreate, you're always buying them. But anyways, so this is the cover that you have for that. Now the paperback, what you're going to do is you are going to just open this paperback with, it's going to give you those files, and once you download them, you're going to open them in Photoshop, like you can see right here, and you can just download your covers. So what I like to do with the covers is I always like to just drag and drop them on top of here. So let's say, let's take one of my covers that's already done, the Haunted Hostess Inn, and all I'm going to do is drag and drop that cover right there. So it's already on top of it. So I can see over here in the layers panel, if I take this off, I can see that it took up all of that space. Now this cover, maybe I want that whole garden look to extend out, but I'm not able to because I just made it 6x9. So a really easy way to do that. All right, remember how I told you to save all of your design assets? You're going to download that background cover. You're going to head over to Adobe Firefly, and you're going to upload that image. And you're going to go over here to expand, and we know that we need to expand it to the left because it's a paperback. And we're just going to say generate, and it's going to guess based on what's inside that photo, what should be on the left side. And so we probably want a darker image so we can put some white text on it. So it has some options here, some here. Probably this one is best because it's so dark. I can put white text on it. I'm going to say keep it. I'm going to download it, and then I can head back over to Photoshop, and I could actually drag and drop that image over here in the background, Put that over there. And then I can start working on that spine and that back. And so everything kind of matches. So the easiest way for me to do that is to simply turn that off. So then I know where the text is, where I need to put the spine, title, and then the backwards. So this is, to me, the easiest way to do that. Now, if you're going to do an audiobook, typically that is about, and I only know pixels, but it's a square. So you're going to use 2400 by 2400. I know that's what Audible takes. And that's going to be your cover as well. So again, you're going to kind of almost have to, you can try to drag and drop this. You can see if I try to pull this out to a square, it's not going to work. So you're going to have to go back to that original file and just upload, start over again with this, and then download the kitty, put your text in, and do everything all from scratch. So hopefully that's enough to get you started. And again, the more you can learn some basic skills, whether that's Photoshop or something else, and you can start dragging and dropping all of your images inside of here, as well as your text, and then your cover will be done. So this is a super long video already, so I'm going to stop right there. If you have more questions, let me know. But I would just strongly encourage you to start learning, you know, Illustrator, the pencil tool and the pen tool, mostly for typography, and also just changing some images that maybe don't look exactly perfect. And then for Photoshop, I would strongly encourage you to start learning mostly just hair. How to draw hair, that seems to be the biggest one, and then adding those magical elements is really easy once you start downloading the right graphics. So I hope everyone's having a great, fabulous, wonderful day, and I will talk to you later. Bye!